Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and the judge in the Donald Trump hush money case, he just got some really bad news. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. Judge Juan Merchan is compromised. There is a lot of dirt on him, and there's a lot of dirt on what's going on in his family and how money's being funneled into his family, and a lot of it coming off the back of this Trump trial. Absolute ridiculousness. The man should have recused himself from day one, and this should not be going on, at least not in front of this judge, who's been very hostile to Trump's defense. Now, I want you to listen to legal expert Leo Terrell and Harris Faulkner explain why this judge is compromised, why this case is ripe for appeal if the decision goes against Trump, and why this whole thing is a sham. She called it legal terrorism, and I agree with her. Please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm Carmine Sabia for Explain America. We love you guys. God bless you. Take care, everybody.
Family. Former President Trump is in court for day 6 of his New York criminal trial, set to get underway at any moment. Former tabloid publisher David Pecker. And he's going to continue his testimony from yesterday. Earlier today, the judge, they were still in court. They just hadn't gotten to testimony. Now they will. Earlier today, the judge took up the issue of the gag order against the former president, and that took up some time. District Attorney Alvin Bragg claims Trump violated the order 10 times with social media posting, and Bragg wants Trump fined for each violation. $10,000 per 10 times. He wants 100 grand, some big G's. He also wants Trump held in contempt and for the judge to consider jailing the president for future violations. Wait a minute. You can put somebody in prison for something they haven't done? They are rich. The judge says he will rule on that a little bit later today. A former Justice Department official said this.
The judge has specified lists, basically, of people who are possible targets for insult and people who are off limits. I think this is a judge who is very sensitive to the need to preserve the integrity of this proceeding. That means protecting witnesses from attacks, protecting jurors from attacks, and that he may well find Trump. I don't think he's going to go so far as to try to throw Trump in jail or anything like that. He may have stern language. He may have a warning. He may impose a nominal fine.
The former president really went after the people pressing up against him as court wrapped yesterday.
This is what took me off and takes me off the campaign trail, because I should be in Georgia now. I should be in Florida now. I should be in a lot of different places right now campaigning. It's very unfair what's going on, and I should be allowed to campaign. This has never happened before, when the state tries to insert itself in federal elections. Nobody's ever seen it.
And notice how disciplined his comments were just then. Never a name, never a title. He's talking about the process. Greg Jarrett, writing in a new op-ed, Manhattan DA Bragg's hocus pocus case exposed on the first day. He argues it's a neat trick called lawfare, weaponizing the law to persecute a political enemy under the guise of a legitimate prosecution. It doesn't matter that any conviction will surely be overturned on appeal. By then, the damage will be done. Again, that was a quote by Greg Jarrett. Let's go now to Leo Terrell, Fox News contributor and attorney. Leo, you saw the president there. He laid out the case. He seemed to stay within the confines of any sort of gag order that would be. He's getting better at this. And the judge and it seems the prosecution are just, I don't know. How would you describe what's going on?
Very simple, Harris. The goal of this legal proceeding is to inflict as much political damage on President Trump. That's the whole purpose of it. This is an attempt to harm President Trump's election chances in November 2024. Nothing more, nothing less. And I'll tell you right now, it doesn't make a difference if this gag order is unconstitutional. It doesn't make a difference if Michael Cohen can basically say whatever he wants. The goal is to hurt Trump's chances to win this election. It's not going to work. The public realizes this, but that's the whole goal of this proceeding.
Well, the part that caught my ear is, how do you put somebody in jail for future violations? I mean, that sounds like a nation that is not run by a president, not even a dictator, but a terrorist.
Harris, I have never in my 35 years of practicing law seen any any legal proceeding such as the one we're witnessing right now. And again, they want to do they want to have not only this case, but other cases to go after Trump. We've talked about it before, and I apologize. This is all to hurt Trump politically, and they will do anything. And this judge, I think he's compromised. It'll be quite interesting to see what his ruling will be on the gag order.
You think the judge is compromised?
He's compromised because he should have been recused from this case. He was placed in this position to inflict this type of political damage to Trump. And I'll tell you right now, he cannot be impartial given the fact of his daughter, given the fact of his situation with the district attorney and how he was selected for this particular case.
You know, I mentioned before, I mean, it feels like legal terrorism. It really does, because I'm still looking for the victim. I'm still looking, as we have in these other cases, I'm still looking for any sort of fairness in this process. He's within the gag order confines, and they want to go after him. And then they were so contentious. I don't know if you got to see some of the coverage that we had this morning, but the judge was contentious, reportedly, with the defense, telling them to hurry up, but then giving the prosecution as much time as they needed. Your last quick thought on that, and we'll move forward.
Oh, very simply, the judge is hostile to President Trump. He has a dislike towards President Trump. And I'll tell you right now, the fix is in. The prosecution will get every break possible. The defendants will have to jump over every hurdle that's been imposed by this judge.
Well, let's go to this. The U.S. Supreme Court will hear arguments this week in a landmark case. Trump is arguing he is immune from prosecution on charges he tried to overturn the 2020 election. And Trump's test case there is Richard Nixon. In 1982, the Supreme Court ruled Nixon could not be held liable for official actions because civil suits are too distracting for a president. Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton with this prediction.
I think they're going to come up with decisions that effectively put the resolution of these issues past the election. However they do it, I don't know. But does the Supreme Court want to endorse putting the former president and #1 candidate on trial a month before the election? I have a feeling a majority won't want to do that.
And so if he's right about that, what has to happen?
What has to happen, Harris, is a situation where the court will send instructions. In my opinion, the oral arguments could be very important on Thursday. But what I'm predicting is something in between absolute immunity and immunity that will have to be decided by the district judge. This case will never see daylight as a trial before the election. The Supreme Court will send instructions down to the lower court.
Leo Terrell, thank you. All eyes on Thursday. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Harris.
Critics are calling it a slap in the face to police.